Obviously, like to be back, mate.
Oh, I've forgotten what to do. I'm just putting some fuel in the old girl.
Is that the fuel pump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
well, when I packed the van yesterday, I was all at 6s and 7s. I was walking around with things. I didn't know what to put in it. Anyway, we're here. Hello, welcome to my little series called Friends Reunited, where I go and revisit bikes of my past. And this is a good day for me today. I'm at Donington and I'm revisiting the S1000RR I raced maybe 3 years ago. It's still in the family. I was sponsored by Prime Factors Racing, but now they're no more. And my friend Bob has bought the bike, and we're going to do a few little track days along the way. So, number one, I don't really see Bob too much now because you know, just life gets in the way and we're not racing every weekend. Obviously, I saw him a little bit last year when he rebuilt my GSX-R 750. But it's nice to see him today. We got the van set up. Got the bike out the van. I mean, I rode this bike a little bit last year at Donington GP, but it started to rain. The last time I really rode it in anger was 2 years ago. And I remember that even between races, when I was racing often, it felt like an absolute missile. You know, because I'm used to riding road bikes all the time with soft suspension, you know, something with stiff suspension and quite race focus is quite aggressive. So we're here at Donington on a track day, MSV track day, and with the GP layout, it's an unsilenced day, which is good. And I'm just going to enjoy the bike. But for those of you that don't know the journey of this particular bike, which has been quite interesting, let me just run you through a few little details. So we got this bike, we ordered this bike at the end of 2018. I've been racing a Gen 3 S1000RR up until then and doing really well on it. It was a fantastic bike. But you know, when the news of this being announced came, we decided we were going to get it. I actually rode it at its world launch in Estoril in the rain. That keeps following me around. At the beginning of 2019. And we were due to get it shortly after and turn it into a race bike and do the Thundersport season, do some endurance racing. But there was a small batch of S1000RRs came out that year for some customers and press bikes, but the main batch were delayed and we didn't actually get this bike until the end of 2019. And I'd kind of missed the whole season of racing. I did a guest ride at Spa on with Nick Edgley, which was fantastic. We had a really great time there, but I didn't really ride in anger too much. So at the end of 2019, Bob converted this bike into a race bike from a road bike. It's got a lot of amazing kit on it. And we were going to test it in Spain in 2020, the beginning of the year. Then COVID hit, and that kind of really set the scene for the rest of this bike's life, really. We rode it a handful of times at the end of 2020, and because it was so new, there was no real knowledge about what makes this bike tick. For example, it's got a very strange rear linkage and runs a very soft spring. So little things like that we weren't quite sure about. Raced it a few times in 2021 and then basically sort of lost momentum with it. The last time I actually raced this bike was at Spa in the endurance in the 6 hour, partnering my brother. And so it's not really had that much use and or race action really. So it's got a standard engine, which I would imagine, we've never had it on a dyno, probably makes around about 205, 210 at the back wheel. It's got a full exhaust system. It's got a BMW race kit, so it's got a different ECU, different wiring loom, different switches. So all the standard switches, switch gear's gone. It's got different clocks. You can see there. So that's a race dash. And it's got the full armoury of electronic rider aids and data logging. So that was a new thing to learn, how to understand the electronics on this bike, which are a lot more complicated than the old Gen 3, and that's really needs proper data engineers to understand it, which I'm not. Then chassis wise, it's got a standard frame, standard swing arm, got K-Tech fork internals, it's got K-Tech rear shock, it's got standard linkages, which I know that the linkages have been kind of improved over the years, and I've never tried that. It's got the standard brakes, which are the BMW branded brakes, but they're fantastic. It's got SBS dual sinter pads, OZ forged aluminium wheels, lighter, we run Pirelli slicks, and all race bodywork from Alpha Racing, so fairings, the tool screen, which is really good for places like Spa. There's a little bit of data log in there, so we've got the fork travel sensors, Alpha Racing discs, all the levers, all the pegs, all from Alpha Racing. So it is a proper piece of kit, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Bob has done an amazing job putting this together. There he is, and yeah, it's just a shame he doesn't get used too much. So we're here at Donington, like I say. It's actually the day before a BEMSI race meeting, so there's a few races here, so I'll probably have to get my finger out a little bit, but I really just can't wait to ride it. I think it's going to be scary because I came on this morning. So I think that's going to be just a little bit different. It's a baptism of fire, and there are damp patches out there, which makes you take notice. Wow, I mean, that is so raw and so direct. I can't believe that, you know, when you race something like that regularly, they kind of feel soft and cuddly and you're always looking for more power. But I could barely get the throttle open all the way down the straights there. I'm sure it'll come to me. But the slicks have just got more power than you know what to do with. Braking power is immense, just goes exactly where you point it. Wowee. In a while, so I'm going to check all the settings. So this is the data sheet that I used to use, and we've got the fork settings. So the forks are flush with the top yokes. We've got 10.5 springs in each side, 6mm of preload, 12 clicks of rebound and 13 clicks of compression. We've got 55 spring in it at the rear, 7mm preload, 11 rebound, 13 compression and 8 on the bypass valve. I'm going to run scrubs that we used last year. So we've got an SEX front scrub and an SE1 rear scrub. No point really putting new tyres in it today. I think I'm not going to be pushing for any lap times. the day, all in one piece. The bike is fantastic. I mean, it's a million times better than I am. At the beginning, my brain couldn't keep up with the speed of it, but as the day wore on, it started to feel like my bike. Although I had to soften it off a little bit because I'm not going fast enough to kind of feel what it's doing properly. But softening off the compression a little bit really helped. It's just amazing. I mean, compared to sort of the modern race of thousands, it's every bit as quick. It's maybe a little bit gnarly compared to the latest S1000RR. And I'd say even though my bike's got kit electronics, the newer bikes are sort of a little bit more refined in that department. But I'm way away from the limit of the bike. I'm way away from the times I used to do. And someone better than me could go even faster. So I'm definitely the limitation. But it's just raw. It just does everything you want to do. The brakes are amazing. The power, it's just so much of it. I mean, it's very, very windy today. Over the back straight where the Dunlop Bridge used to be. I mean, it's wheeling off that in fifth, but the wind's catching the front wheel as it wheelies. So that's quite scary. There's a few fast riders here today. Ben Schneider is here, a few other top racers, and then like I say, the Bemsy lot are on their way. They're queuing up to get in as we speak. But yeah, fantastic day. I've got to say a big thanks to Bob for coming all the way to Donington from southeast Kent to let me play on his bike now. Hopefully I'll get to ride it again sometime. So yeah, proper friends reunited. Really nice to see Bob again, and it was really nice to ride my old bike again. So now I'm going to get home on the GS. I'll see you soon.